Hello, welcome to Following Models, kit review time. Today we've got Italer's 1/24th scale Lancia Delta HF rally car. Again, really nice that these things are making a bit of a comeback, coming back, seeing all these sort of, classic, legendary rally cars, which certainly when I was growing up with, we sort of used to follow. So anyway, on the kit box we have, and I have to say, at first glance it looks lovely, and then I look a little bit closer and it's got some very dodgy photoshopping going on in here. So it's like artwork of a photo, and then they sort of Photoshop bits in, and certainly got some things that are missing markings on here, I assume due to sort of, copyright ruling and marketing and all things like that. So from that point of view, when you look round and you're seeing on here, you can see we've got Martini or would be, but obviously been left out and things like that. So again, I just think that's some problems down in there, but that's no problem. So down in here, we've actually got two ones. So these are from the 58th Monte Carlo Rally in 1990. Very nice indeed. We can see down here, kit number for this one is number 3658. And then on down here we can see some of the other ones that I've done, and there's those decals with blacked out areas. Now this is sealed, I haven't looked in it before, so we'll just have to cut our way in here, get in, there we go, okay, pop open those, okay, so straight in. Oh look, Martini's come back. Well, they did obviously, later on they got some things, we can see Martini, although it's not shown on there, it's not shown on the box, but funny enough the decals do have them. So it could be specific for different areas. You can see we've got one bag of stuff and some tyres, some little instructions. Okay, so into on the instructions, starting off with, very nice. Okay, so there's a couple of parts down in here greyed out, so we're not going to be using those. There is different versions these along. So we've got the underside, so we've got all the running gear. It's four-wheel drive, as you can imagine, fuel tank, exhaust system being fitted down under there. Front drive shaft being fitted in, and then we've got the dashboard, control stick, pedals, various things. A couple of decals going to be fitted down into those. Flipping it over, we've got some decals as well, different ones for different drivers, as you might imagine, for the actual driver's seat being fitted down in there. And then obviously we've got handbrake, gear shifter, things like that. A couple of rear bulkheads in, and the other seat going through in there. Roll cage being fitted in there, so two-part sides on there, and then it all going into the actual underside there. Then we've got the body, so the body being fitted. We've got one-piece clear part that's going to push up underneath. Very old-school way of doing it, but there we go. Okay, and then we've got the door cards and the various things going on to the inside after you've actually got the actual glass work in. Okay, so different ways of doing it, but painting, you're probably going to do it as separates anyway. Okay, doors being fitted, so it looks like they are posable open and close, which is a nice touch for the actual driver's door. And again, glass and door car being fitted on for that, and then all the usual bits and pieces. So we've got the bumpers, tail lights, things like that, all being fitted right the way over this one. On the front, exactly the same again. So we've got the fog lights being fitted down in there and all the rest of it. Bonnet going on, and then we've got the air scoops on the roof. Okay, very straightforward. Windscreen wiper blades, and then obviously talking about some of the actual black work around this one as well. And then obviously being for the actual body being fitted down onto the chassis, wheels being fitted on. We do have decals as well for the tyres, which is a nice touch. Okay, and then we've got the actual valance going underneath, and the underpan being fitted down underneath there. Okay, so very nice indeed. And again, Martini has returned, so that's all right. We've got those being fitted down in there, as you can see, which is a nice touch. Pretty much standard white right the way over it, with some black underneath for the other areas, and again, different markings for different drivers, as you might expect. So decals themselves, which is one of the things I was actually really worried about, now look really very, very nice indeed. Again, when you look around them, we've got down here at the bottom, we've got Michelin for the tyres, all these areas. We've got the Martini logos being on there, that beautiful colour scheme right the way down there for Lancia. And then obviously, as you can imagine, just going to be the same for the other drivers as they make their way through, just like that. And the decals, to be honest, are good solid colours. Even the whites look very, very solid, but the colour ones, they all look very nice, good quality in register decals, just like that. Okay, into the parts. So tyres we'll look at in a minute. We have to cut our way in here one way or another. So let's try it in this way. Okay, so starting off with the body, we've got obviously a big tab on the front here. That's not so much of a problem, but generally, again, good solid white plastic, a good start for obviously putting your painting on after this, but it's a good solid one. It's not going to give you any problems. Got a couple of little scorch marks there from the injection moulding process, and it's a little bit flashy around the edges, but it is a one-piece mould. You're always going to expect things like that, so just be careful just taking these off and things like that. Actually, that's very, very nice indeed. Good system down in there. The injection moulding is very, very thin. You might notice we've actually got a hole just down in here that runs right the way through to the inside. It's that thin, so these panels very, very thin indeed. Okay, so very nice. Okay, carrying on with the white theme, so we've actually got the skirt, which is the actual protector, the skid pan underneath the engines down in there, the bonnet with the grills in there, fitted in there, no problem at all. That other door, front end and valance, depending on versions you're doing and things, okay, and a few other bits and pieces. The drive shaft, okay, and that exhaust system fitting up the back. Again, very nicely done indeed. It's got quite large ejector pins, but they're all tucked out of the way. I don't think they're going to be a problem in any way. Okay, underside. Okay, the chassis down under here. You can see some basic details. On the top side, it's devoid of everything, because you're going to be adding to that. Speaking of which, we've got the door cards being fitted down in there. We've got the windscreen wipers, instrument panel, okay, and up. And then obviously we've got those seats, which have all got moulded in harnesses, which is a nice touch. Okay, roll bar, a little bit of burring, things like that in there to clean up, but not too bad at all. The wheel hubs, okay, looking really nice indeed. That fuel tank, rear bulkhead, things like that. The steering wheel, steering column, all those areas, no problem at all. Classic, real classic. Okay, so tyres. Tyres. Actually, very nice tread on those. You can probably catch them in the light. Really nice. No centre seam, no bearing, no nothing, which is a nice touch as well. Unfortunately, you are going to get these big pinches in. I'm hoping they're omnidirectional, so it won't matter which side is on, because you want this to be on the inside, because that's a little bit gnarly, to say the least, and they're all like it. Okay, so hopefully you can just cut that. That'll be to the inside. That'll be your outside. If that's your outside, it's going to be a problem. But looking at the details, it looks like it's got the moulded areas for things like the tyre diameters, things like that. So I'm assuming that is the outside, as opposed to that one, which is a nice touch. And last up, of course, the clear parts. So, clear parts themselves. As I said, one-piece internal clear part, quite old school, but you can see it's practical. It is clear. It's got a little bit of distortion in there. It's a bit wibbly wobbly, to be honest. And that's the trouble when you do these big pulls like this. But actually, I think it's quite clear. I think it's going to be a problem, I'll say. I think it'll be okay with that one. And a few of the others. So the side window is absolutely crystal clear, as you might imagine. There's no distortion in that at all, so that's nice. Headlights and obviously tail lights being fitted down in there as well. Really very nice indeed. Again, really nice. It is nice to have these cars back on the market again, readily available through Italeri. So if you are a sports car fan or just a car fan in general, you're going to go out and get one of these, aren't you, at the end of the day? So there we go. That's the Italeri 1/24 scale Lancia Delta HF.